YouTube, thank you for joining me for another video today, and we're going to be talking about the subject of if you're still living with your parents, different ways you can strategize, what you can do to maximize your time when living with your parents. It is a time that you really don't want to take advantage of. Depending on your situation, I'm going to go ahead and assume that most of you guys have decent families out there. You have a decent relationship with your parents. Now, if that's not the case, I'm going to give advice for both. So we're going to start with the first. If you do have some decent, you have some loving parents, you have some parents that you don't mind going home to every night. I mean, genuinely, they care about you and they see your mission, they support your goals. I would say maybe nowadays, at least from my reality, it's a little far few in between. I don't see a lot of it. However, actually in my personal life, I can find a lot of people who do have loving parents. So it goes hand in hand. And if you do, the best way that you can maximize it, besides saving money and doing the things that you would normally hear about whenever you click on videos like this about people giving advice, moving out, things of that nature. I personally moved out when I was 18, and so that was, my first apartment. I did have a roommate. I had one roommate, and then my second place, I had two roommates, and that was a townhome. And then my third place, I ultimately ended up moving on my own into my own apartment, and ever since then, I have been on my own. Minus, a few relationships, but I never was like on a lease with anyone else after that particular, those particular two roommates. So I would advise, if you're having a good home life, right, to not only take advantage of the savings, but take advantage of being able to really take risks on what it is that you want to do before you go out and you get major bills. Now, that's probably a common theme in videos that kind of dive into the topic of what a high schooler should do, or what someone fresh, new into life, new into corporate world, new into just the field of going out and figuring out what you want to do. I'm more of I don't like to necessarily indulge and watch a lot of Gary Vee, but I have read his book, or one of his books, and I have listened to a lot of his content, and I like what he has to say about time. You have a lot of time, yet you only have so little to waste. Meaning, there's going to become a point in time when, ironically, there's going to come a moment where it clicks. And I think that you'll start to wake up every day wanting more out of life. I mean, genuinely, just when you go to sleep every night, you cannot wait to wake up the next morning. And it helps you give more thanks to God. And the reason why this is important is because it's hard to figure out who you are when you're stressing about bills, when you're distracted by roommates. So if you have a good home family and you have parents who know boundaries and you're able to be yourself and you're supported, that is a lottery ticket. Let me tell you, that is a lottery ticket, and I think you guys should take full advantage. I don't think you guys should sit around and be lazy if you have that advantage. Because there's no sitting around and being lazy when you have bills to pay. Now, I get the debt motivation. I get buying a house. I get the aspect of going out there, and I'm going to play devil's advocate on that as well. But I get the aspect of leaving the nest and going out on your own to also find yourself. Because you can find yourself in both ways, and that's basically what I'm trying to explain is when you go through a process of finding yourself, but you're in an environment where it's hard to grow, meaning you might be in a dorm room, you might have friends right now that you're living with, you might be in a toxic kind of environment at home. Obviously, you know that your surroundings and the 5 people you spend the most time with, you're going to be like, so you know that your environment shapes who you are. So that's why this video is so important. That's why this video gives so much insight, I think, to what you should just be you should at least acknowledge the situation that you're in, whether good or bad. I'll speak a little bit to the bad, but to touch more if you're on that lottery ticket phase of just having some good parents. You have a mom who cooks for you. You have a dad who goes to work every day to provide for your family. Whatever the case is, you have brothers, you have sisters. You just have a good, genuine home life. That should give you a lot of reasons, I guess, to be lazy in a way. But that should be the time that you need to hunker down. I see these videos pop up on my Instagram feed. This is very relevant, of kids, and I wouldn't say kids because I'm 26, so I feel like I'm getting a little old, right? I'm getting there. I understand that I'm either in or approaching prime years, depending on who you ask. But I see these like 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old dudes, and I don't really feel far off. I just feel almost maybe like a senior to some of these guys, because some of these guys got a lot of talent, and they might just not have the street smarts, or they have the street smarts and maybe they don't have talent. So it's cool getting to see the younger generation, or really just people 5 years younger, and looking back and seeing what they're doing. And these reels of these kids getting dragged because they're in nice homes, and they're doing like their daily life, and it's like, all right, Bradley, like, tell us about how you went to Lifetime Fitness. I get all that, but to me, that stuff's cool. Like, obviously that kid has the luxury that most people would want, which is a nice house, probably has good parents, or a parent who's put him in a position to where he can record TikToks or Instagram reels. My point is, you gotta, well, first eliminate all the hate, because all those comments, just people dragging him about, just making fun of him, right? Just trolling him, and that's cool. But if you have any genuine hate in your heart, or you're jealous of that, you shouldn't be jealous. That's what you want to provide your kid, right? I think everyone watching this video can agree that they want to provide their kid a super nice home life, to where if they want to go out and hustle, if they want to go out and play chess, if they want to be a basketball player, if they want to bodybuild and stay at home and make content, make cooking content. I don't know if you guys have seen this one kid who does cooking content, and he popped up on my feed a long time ago, and he was making steak, and he was making this crazy meal, right? And he had millions and millions of views. It goes back to the home life. Obviously that kid has a good home life to where he can set everything up. And I was amazed. The first thing I was thinking of was, what are his parents thinking about all this money that he's making? But he's just making all these videos and making this content about cooking and bringing a lot of value to the world in terms of his cooking skills, but just the cool vibes. I'd rather see that than see something violent, than see some profanity that's on my phone and on my Instagram feed. But I digress. Really look at your situation and ask yourself, is it all that bad? Do I really need an apartment? Do I really need to move out? So before I talk about this second side of the equation, which is if you're in a bad home life and you're still living with your parents, then it's a no-brainer. I am going to talk a little bit about if you're lazy and you're living at your parents still, and you're kind of a bum. It's a completely different topic, but I'll touch on that here at the end. Going into, if you're in a bad home life, I encourage you to reach out, or not reach out, but go on YouTube and not only listen to my videos, but listen to Tony Robbins, listen to people who have gone through traumatic relationships with their parents and that have made it out on the other end. What you need to know in that situation is that life is happening for you, not to you. So if you go out there and you take a risk, it's probably beneficial. It's a very blanket statement, but I do think if you're going to go out, if you're going to move out of your parents' home and you know that you have a dad or a mom who doesn't support you, who's negative, who brings down your vibration, who just changes you, who's just, again, one of those 5 people that you don't want to be like, and it's just really bad, it's hard for you to live there, then it's a no-brainer. Go out and take the risk. I would say that it's God calling you to go do that. Not really much else to it on that end. If you're in a bad situation, get out of that situation. Realize that your habits are going to make you who you are, and if you can't implement good habits because of your environment, because of the people that you surround yourself with, then super simple. Get out. Don't look back. Take the risk. Take the risk on yourself while you're still young, 18 through, man, I would say even 30, 35. I don't really know what my audience is. I would imagine that probably around my age. So really take that risk because, man, you're not, I'll tell you, when I turned 25 last year, it was a real eye opener because I had made a little bit of money and just was on chill mode, throwing some money into, your Roth, throw some money into a brokerage account, throw some money here and there, and, you save a little bit of money, you spend some money, you get a nice car, you get a nice place, you go out on nice dates, you go to, you go to some beach trips, you fly to Colorado, you go do some cool stuff. And then you think that you're doing good and you think you're progressing. And I'm speaking for myself personally on a physical level. During those times, I would have, meaning the last, 7 years since I graduated high school, I would have times where I was very in my ego. And then I'd have times where I would either get humbled or it would just be a season of isolation, whether it was a form of going on monk mode or just moving to a different city. I've done that twice where I just up and leave, go sign a lease with a random apartment. Just obviously do a virtual tour, make sure it's decent, make sure it's nice, it's got the amenities you need, and call the complex, put your application in, put your credit card on, boom, it's done. It's really not that hard. I'm thinking about doing the same thing right now, up and moving to a different city. I'm thinking Arizona. I'm thinking possibly either, Scottsdale, Phoenix area, maybe Sedona. I've considered Vegas. So, I've considered a lot of different things, but I definitely encourage you, if you're not in a good situation or if you're in a boring home life or you don't want to be like any of the people around in your home city, guys, just get up and take that leap. Get up and take that leap, take the risk. And, a lot of people say, oh, well, it's easier than it sounds, or it's harder than it sounds. It's really not. It's really not. Most of you guys, you graduate 18, 19. If your home life is that bad and you graduated 18, 19, you have the ability to flex and leverage your credit. Now, if you don't know anything about credit and you have no credit, the first thing you can do to build your credit is get a couple credit cards and make sure that you pay them off every single month. But doing this, even the first credit card will give you the opportunity to leave town if you have no money at all. Like zero money, you didn't save any money from the time you I don't know, started saving money when you were little, right? If you have no money right now, you're 18, 19, you're broke, you're poor, should be able to get a credit card. You should be able to get some kind of loan to either do the credit, the application fee to go live somewhere, or just do your due diligence to go out there and see if you can find a room. More so, the door is going to open for you naturally. I don't want to stress anyone out. The door is going to open naturally. I think God is really going to work in your life, and it's just going to pop up out of nowhere, and it's going to seem like sometimes it's too good to be true, and it ends up being maybe not all you thought it was going to be, but it was the right situation, and it was the right door to open for you. So you have to have faith in that aspect of things, and the less faith you have, the different the outcome can be. And I think that's true on a certain level. There's certain decisions that we make based off how much we believe in that situation. So I'll put it at that, guys. To touch on, if you're in a really, so well, actually, to kind of go back to the whole taking out a loan, if it's that bad, guys, that's what I mean by that. That's what I mean. If it's really bad to where you have to put the deposit, first month's rent, and the credit application, or the application fee. If you have to put all that on a credit card, then so be it. If you can even get that limit, if you can get a $2,000 limit, you should be able to accomplish all that. The thing is, the reason why I say that, even though that's doesn't seem like the best advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, so it's really not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I would do if I was in a terrible situation, or if I was in a situation where it was just toxic at home, whether it be verbal abuse or physical abuse. I think that most people would agree out there. And if you're a bum, just, I guess, have fun being a bum. I really, I do know some guys that they necessarily never progressed, and I don't talk to those guys anymore. I certainly don't judge them, because you never know what they're going through. They could be going through some kind of enlightening experience, and you never know. But I'm not here to judge. I just know that I want to be, and I'm sure if you clicked on this video, that you probably want to be better than what you are right now. And the people that you surround yourself with now, it's not that you don't love them, but if deep in your gut, if you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to separate yourself and go into a season of isolation, because chances are those 4-5 people that you want to surround yourself with, they're not even there. And you realistically probably haven't done the work to get the opportunity to have those people in your life. And that's why I talk so big on my channel about monk mode and going into seasons of isolation, because when you really get in tune with yourself, when you get more in tune with God and you get a stronger relationship, I truly believe those doors will naturally open for you. Those people will come in your life, and maybe let's say you met someone who you can see being one of those 5 people, and maybe they have family, maybe they have obligations, and you just are never able to mingle with them or put them in your vicinity. Well, the more that you spend time with the people you don't want to be with, the less opportunity you'll have time to ever be with that person, or that that group of people that's maybe they're wholesaling real estate out of high school. They got their real estate license. Maybe they are at a luxury dealership selling cars, or maybe they're doing some cool, I have a buddy who sells tobacco, and he's top, one of the top producers at his company. There's so many different things that you can do out in this world. And guys, so if you're in a bad situation, or you're just not motivated right now, man, there's so much to be done in this world. There's so much value to bring, truly. So I hope everyone got some value out of this. So if you're still living at home, thumbs up to you. Regardless of your situation, just analyze it. If you're still living at home, you're 19, 18, make a game plan, but really analyze where you're at in life, analyze where you're at on the chessboard, and like what's going to be the next best move to get you to where you want to be in your goals. So again, toxic relationship, get out. Super simple. Good relationship, take advantage of it, maximize your profits while you're there, stack up cash, go take risks, go travel, go do what you need to do, and spend the money that you're making and invest in yourself if you're really confident and you love being at home. Just pour all your money into investing in yourself. And of course, I would say, at least personally, I would do S&P 500 and like a Roth IRA through like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and just do the basics. Just start getting used to saving money and really like maximize your profits if you have that ability to stay at home. So it's all love, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. And please leave a comment down below if you got a specific situation that maybe I didn't touch on or something that you'd like for me to cover. I'd really appreciate it. So leave a comment down below. Hit the subscribe button, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning into the videos. God bless, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.